of AMC Movie News. Yes, we're all here celebrating the fact that the YouTube channel just clocked over 100 million views. That is absolutely worth screaming about. Hello there, my name is Maud Garrett and I'm going to be hosting tonight's festivities, and beside me it is the absolutely glamorous Sinead DeFries.
Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for being here tonight. I just joined AMC Movie News not too long ago, and I can tell you how much this means to us all. Tonight's a little bit different because we're coming to you live with a live studio audience.
That's right, these are some of AMC's die-hard fans, and apparently some of you guys not only drove in from a long way but flew in as well. That's pretty impressive. You were supposed to say me, but I'll get past it. It's fine. These guys will have their phones on them. They'll be documenting the entire thing using that hashtag AMC 100 million. Now, the 100 is 100 million is spelt out.
That's right. So if you're not here tonight, it's okay because you can hop on Twitter using that hashtag. If your question or comment gets featured on tonight's show, you're getting free movie passes.
Woohoo! That's right, we are asking you guys to get very intimate with not only the team that you see on the show day in and day out, but also the crew behind the scenes, because every single person making up this show, they're the ones that are delivering it to you, okay? Everyone has their own unique role, and we're here recognizing that today. So before we get into these things, yes guys, think of your questions for every single person on the AMC team. We want to throw to a little clip. It's all about you guys, you know? You're the fans. And you're everywhere across the whole world. But we have discovered an AMC fan that is a little bit fast and a whole lot of furious.
What was it to you that got you that excited for it?
Well, the first thing was, as you remember last year, there was a kind of a social media frenzy about what I was going to do and what you remember that?
Oh, I do.
You covered it.
Yes,
I watched your show. By the way, guys, this guy is one of the really good ones. If you want, I'm not joking, if you want a real interesting perspective about movies or what's going to come up or whether things will work or not, John with AMC, but you make it feel so natural. It doesn't feel corporate,
Thank you so much.
which is cool. And the other girls on the show are so cool.
They are.
You guys feel honest. You're not afraid to give opinions. They all feel like they're coming from the heart. It never feels like you're working for any studio. It doesn't feel like you've been co-opted. You really do have a good
Let's talk
show.
more about me. This is my favorite interview today so far. This is great.
Oh, Vinny D. Yep, he is a fan of AMC Movie News, and he's probably a big reason why we've clocked 100 million views. But how does one get to 100 million views? Let's take a trip down memory lane. Not too far, though, because AMC first started the beginning of last year. Yes, that's when we first got AMC Movie News. By the end of the year, AMC Movie News had clocked 100,000 subscribers in the first year. And then YouTube sent them this little ditty.
It's gold and it's pretty, so we have to show it.
Guys, 100,000 subscribers in 12 months. Oh,
Craziness.
a little bit of a little sun on the old shoulder there. But by beginning of this year, they actually picked up an award. It was the award for Best New Series, and that one happened at the Academy of Web Television. So technically, this is an award-winning show. Right. I've got something else on this shoulder now. It's funny. Yeah, that's right. I don't know if you haven't caught on by now. This is definitely a humble brag. Now, not so long ago, 100,000 subscribers, turned into 200,000, which is even better, right?
Right. And
it doubled in less than 12 months.
Which we thought was as good as it was going to get for a little bit. But guess what? Just a couple weeks ago, we reached 100 million YouTube views.
As we were saying, it's not just the guys that you see every day, but the ones behind the camera as well. So we're going to get all of them up tonight. But let's bring up the very, very first group of people that we're going to be interviewing. You may see them on AMC Movie Talk Monday through to Friday. They are Ashley Mover. Round of applause. You got this, guys.
Hey! Woohoo!
Miri Dedican.
You have to say it louder.
Mark Ellis. Come on, Miri.
Wait till it dies down a little bit.
Alicia Malone. And Christian Harloff.
It's on horses.
Shut
So
up.
as you know, with this particular part, we're going to ask them a few questions. We're going to take it to the audience for a few questions. And then you guys at home streaming this live, tweet in your questions right now because we'll be reading some of those out too. Hello, first group.
I have a question for the audience right off the bat.
Here we
Are
go.
you guys ready for the world premiere of the second Star Wars trailer? Let's hear you out there.
Right now. Do it.
You got 4 months to wait. I just wanted to see.
Boo.
I guess the first question then is quite easy. How long can you not talk about movies for? That was really not the best. Leave the jokes to the comedians, right? Good? Making notes. But on a serious note, you guys, this is something that is of huge passion for you. What is it about being a part of the AMC team that is most rewarding for you? Do I take it?
It keeps me off the streets. I mean, I'll start with Ashley, and then we can go this way.
I guess you can start with me. I mean, how could you even call this work? I get to come into work every day, and I guess because I'm a little bit of a different boat than you guys, I get to learn every day that I come in because you guys send in these awesome questions. And, you know, I'm not a film critic. I don't know if you guys would call yourselves film critics, but
I say it like that.
just like that. Can I hear it? There it is. But I get to learn every day when I come to work, and this is something that I've wanted to do since I was a kid. So it's super awesome getting to do that every single day.
Happy Saturday, guys.
Happy Saturday. It's Friday, girl. Happy Friday, guys.
It's Friday, Alicia. How drunk are you? Jeez. That's...
I've had a lot of tequila. I am warning you.
Don't
now.
blame you, girl.
But you know, when people ask me, Mark, how many views are you responsible for out of the 100 million? I like to think about 28. I think that's
28
a
people.
Good round number. 28 eyeballs, 14 human beings. This is just, it's a fun crew. I like hanging out and talking movies with people, and I like to occasionally get a little silly when I do it, and so you guys have welcomed me. They have welcomed me into their little world. I'm not sure that they're happy about it, but I am thrilled about it, and the response from you guys has been 64% positive, and that means the world to me.
Well, that's the main reason, though, too, is because Mark and I have been on the YouTube space for a very long time, and to watch what the movie space has become on in the internet space has been amazing. And you guys, how passionate, that's the beauty of it. Whatever you're doing on YouTube, especially what AMC does, is that we're able to talk to you guys. You guys are so interactive with your opinions to go back and forth on conversations. And I love all the comments like, troll? I don't care. I'm not a troll. I like to talk about stuff. I love movies. Great. And that's really where we thrive, because the bottom line is we're not critics. We're fans like you guys. And you guys have responded to it, and that's why AMC Movie Talk has been so phenomenal.
And the people, I mean, we all are good friends. We all hang out separately from Movie
us
Talk.
and Ashley, yeah.
I'll be drinking at Hooters by
like
myself
Mark.
later if anybody wants to.
We get along, and it's just, as a film geek, it's so special to be able to talk about movies every day, and it's definitely not work at all. And I love talking to all of you guys on Twitter and Facebook and everything. It just makes it so worthwhile.
Yeah, I agree with everything you guys have said. I think the people are what make this such a special company to work for and to be a part of. The fans, you guys are amazing. Thank you for all your comments and for giving us your feedback. One of the things I love is that I can watch our shows and then scroll in the comments and see your favorites, and you'll chime in on the conversation, and that interactivity is really, really lovely. And yeah, we're all friends, you know, and it's just nice. And I think there's an honesty to what we do, and I don't think anyone says anything they don't feel. Nobody talks about things that they don't want to talk about. There's a certain integrity to that I really like being a part
It's
of.
honest and intelligent conversation between
Sometimes
everybody.
intelligent.
Sometimes. And
Not
between,
always.
well, between us and between the fans, what I think really has made it work.
I love the comments. I never knew I was a sexist a-hole until I went on the comments. Thank
I
you
could have
guys for
told you
bettering
that.
me.
Come on.
Yeah.
It's
So we're actually going to take to the audience right now. Guys, if you've got a question, jump up because you are here. You get the first go. We're screening the questions right now. And at home, this is your chance to ask the questions to anyone that you see up there right now. Use that hashtag AMC100million. Right now, though, we've got Jake with the very first question. Come on, let's get your question happening. Nice loud voices for the guys there.
Hey guys, nice to see you all in person.
Why is the best looking guy over there asking the question?
I can tell you why.
My question is actually for Christian and Mark. I know you guys do stand-up comedy, or I know Mark Ellis still does. My question is, when did you guys decide to do movies as well, and how, like, Christian, you primarily do movies. I know, how did you make that decision to, balance the two, and which one you focus on more?
When we realized we weren't good at stand-up comedy.
Yeah,
is the answer to that
yeah,
question.
that's true. This microphone feels awkward. No, honestly, it was I worked for Warner Brothers for a while. Working for Joel Silver for about 3 years, and in feature film development. And the funniest thing was, you're working in movies, and I never saw movies when I was there. I was reading scripts all the time, and I was like, I still want to, and I'm still doing stand-up. And in that time, Mark and I were performing at the Comedy Store a lot, and we said, you know what, let's try to do something different, because YouTube had started, I guess, like, I don't know, 2 years beforehand. So we started trying to do reviews, and let's just use our spin on it. Let's be funny. Let's talk about movies, but let's be honest. And it just worked. And
Yeah, when I was a young comic, I moved out to L.A., and the cock of the walk was Christian Harloff. And so he really was. I met him at a barbecue, and he was like the coolest guy. He's drinking Coronas, hanging out with chicks, making out with hot ones. And it was
no, kidding.
It was unbelievable. No, this is, hey, world. It was, hi, Christian's mom.
DeLoreans.
But then,
My mom thinks I'm in real estate. Quiet.
Then we started the channel. We started talking movies, and we're like, hey, this is kind of fun. We should kind of do this on the side. And then it just became one of my jobs and a job that we love doing, and it doesn't even feel like a job. It's a lot of fun to talk movies during the day and do stand-up at night, and then try to find a time for a Coors Light in between. So.
Fantastic. I mean, I love the fact that you guys do seem to marry comedy and movies, because I don't think that they have to be one or the other, which is fantastic, and I think everyone appreciates that, right? So we're hitting up the very next question from the audience. I've got Cody here. Take the microphone. You're up. Nice loud voice.
Hey guys, my question was there a single experience that started your love for movies?
Single experience. Well, my dad loved classic movies, so he would drag me out of bed in the middle of the night and say, you have to watch this. This is Hitchcock. It's very important. And I wouldn't get it, but I slowly loved film after that.
Best dad ever.
Yeah, he really taught me a lot. So from there, I loved movies, and I didn't know how that could be a career, but somehow I've made it work.
I think you guys could probably answer what it is as far as, there you go, Star Wars. It was. As far as it was just something so different when I saw it as a kid, to see Star Wars and knowing what movies were capable of doing. And it changed my life. You guys probably at this point is like, shut up about Star Wars. I can't. I just can't. I can't.
It's actually a nervous tick. It's a problem. He's seeing a doctor for it.
Jedi.
For me, I don't actually remember a specific moment. I just know that for as long as I can remember, I've loved movies almost more than anything in the world. I remember watching VHS tapes until they wore out of movies I loved.
Ferris Bueller's.
Yes, and pretty much any John Hughes movie, but especially Ferris Bueller, and even some old weird ones like Meet Me in St. Louis I was obsessed with when I was a child, which is very strange. That's a great one.
Yeah.
Judy Garland singing about the boy next door is a little weird, but I was really into it. I don't know why, and I always loved films, and I always loved the way they told stories, and I think that we all share that in this room, and everybody who watches this show, and everybody here, there's just a love you have of movies, and you start to zone out and talk about it. We were hanging out at lunch today when we could have been talking about pretty much anything in the world. And what was everybody talking about? Movies. It's just something that's a part of your life. It's part of who you are. It's what excites you. And I just love it. I think it's...
being raised by wolves in Southeast Tibet, I think my parents did what any good parents do. They just throw the kids in front of the TV and they're like, just watch something and shut up for a little bit. So first movie I saw was Wizard of Oz, but it's a famous clip in the Ellis Family is that I'm on camera and they're filming. They're like, Mark, you love Star Wars, right? And I'm like, They're like, come on, you want to watch Star Wars, right? And I'm like, I don't want to watch Star Wars. They're like, you love Star Wars, watch Star Wars. And I'm like, I want to watch Annie. And then I run out of the room.
He was 16.
Keon, you're up. Here's the mic. Knock 'em dead.
So as kids, we love every movie that ever comes out. What was the first movie that you guys really did not like that you just hated?
Question.
You know, it's odd you're wearing a Super Mario 3 shirt. Because I saw a movie called The Wizard when I was a kid.
The Wiz.
Anybody remember The Wizard with Fred Savage and his
Wizard.
brother, and they're going across the country winning video game tournaments, and then you get into the final tournament, and the announcer's like, and we're going to play a brand new video game that no one's ever seen, Super Mario 3. And I saw it like 10 years ago. And I was like, come on, man.
First one I remember hating, actually, strangely enough, as much as I love him, it was Red Heat with Arnold playing a Russian.
That's your boy.
It didn't work. It's like, come on, I'm going to be Russian. No, you're not. Cut it out. It's like, it didn't work. I remember watching as a kid going, yeah, another Arnold movie. And I'm like, this sucks. And that's probably the one I really remember.
Wow, Arnold, how do you feel about that?
It's fantastic that he said that. Isn't it?
I don't know. I'm such a huge wuss, so anything to do with horror freaks me out. So I remember just throwing up because I was so scared after seeing the first Freddy Krueger.
Yeah, that's scary.
I was terrified of that movie, so I hated that movie.
She's in a support group
again. Yeah, I'm in a support group now.
I can't remember the first movie I really hated. I can tell you the first movie I walked out of because I was angry was Waterworld. I saw that in theaters. And I actually got up and left, which I don't think I've done since because I love movies that much that I will sit through trash. But I was just angry at that movie because I felt like it was a really good idea that was just so poorly executed. So.
Hey guys, thank you so much for answering the audience questions. Now we're going to take things to Twitter. And yes, you can get your questions in using that hashtag AMC 100 million.
Yeah!
All right, so the first question from Twitter comes from @LittleHobbitBoy. He asks, hashtag AMC 100 million. Congratulations. My question is, what is your favorite part about being on AMC Movie Talk?
The drugs. I think the drugs are really good backstage. Yeah. My favorite part is the fact that I get to talk in front of a new audience that I hadn't really known before. I get to meet new people online, and I get to share my love of movies.
He gets to alienate more people every day.
Yeah, well, it's a team interaction also. I mean, what John and the guys over here at AMC have done is put together a really good team of people that you guys hopefully respect, we obviously respect, and it's a back and forth conversation that really works, and it transfers over, and I enjoy it. I get excited every time I'm on the show. I can't wait to, and I go back and I read the comments to see like what everybody's saying, and like I said before, the intelligent conversation and the back and forth about the passion of movie fans, that's what gets me excited.
Right, the team, obviously.
Yeah.
I mean, like, you come in here every day, and even the staff at the stream, it's like, how am I so lucky that I get to, again, consider this work? This is just so much fun to be here every single day, and obviously the opportunities that come with it are so friggin' amazing. No, I can't talk about that, but, you know, you just get to do so many awesome things that I would never have expected get to come my way.
Yeah, getting to nerd out with everyone is really fun. And I love that AMC supports all different types of movies. So I've also got to do AMCI Indie Spotlight as well, which is so much fun. Yay! Woo! Indie.
Yeah. And bringing back Jedi Council, which I'm excited about as well, too, to have Jedi
More
Council.
Star Wars.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm starting a Hard Target after
like,
show. If anybody, you just come over to my house. We watch Hard Target. We talk about it.
But you have to
so-
grow out the mullet.
You can wear a mullet, but you can speak in a weird French accent. Sorry.
But I was going to say, getting to talk indie films is so much fun, and just getting to share your passion with everyone. It's great.
I also like the fact that, we get the show notes a couple of hours before the show starts. John usually sends them out, or Dennis or Amy Rose, whoever's hosting that day. And I actually really look forward to when that arrives in my inbox because I like to see what we're going to talk about. And then it's just the process of, reading the trades and reading the headlines and thinking about how you feel about them. And then there's this whole process of sharing it with you guys. And then it kind of grows into this thing every show, every day. And I think that's very special that, it starts out just this little idea, this headline or this piece of news or this thought. And then we all think about it. And then we come together. We talk about it. We share it with you. You talk about it with us. And it grows. And I think that's really a cool sort of organic aspect of the way the show works.
I love seeing when the last second trailers drop, and you guys come in here, you're like, you guys, the last second trailer, we have to look it up right now, or else people are going to talk about it.
Oh
And then we have to change the whole, John's like, all right, I'm sorry. We're going to have to talk about this whole other thing now, which is kind of fun.
Guys, thank you so much for sharing all of your thoughts about AMC and what it means to you as well. But the conversation will continue, don't worry. If you are in the audience, you get to party with these guys after. But Sorry to rub that in. But if you are at home, yes, these guys do read all the comments and they absolutely love what you contribute and to have that fascinating conversation. So make sure you tweet all of those guys at their personal accounts through AMC Movie News or use that hashtag. But now we're going to throw to a bit of a video.
That's right. So all week on Twitter, we've been asking AMC Movie Talk fans what have been their favorite moments of AMC Movie News throughout history. And recently, you guys have not stopped talking about the best of Aunt May. Check it out.
Characters.
This is what happens when you watch the show Gotham and you have a lot of herbal supplementation during it. You're like, what would happen if there's other characters in other universes that we don't really care about? Let's see what happens there.
That probably is what happened. Avi was like,
Yeah.
this Gotham thing's working out. What about Aunt May? Here you go. A couple other producers. Avi's right. Aunt May! Aunt May! Yeah, come on.
Got some funny people there on the panel, don't we?
I can barely keep it together when Aunt May comes up in conversation. It's absolutely hysterical. All right, just as important as the people in front of the camera are those behind the scenes, bringing you AMC Movie Talk live every single day, Monday through Friday. So we want to bring those people here at the stream where we produce AMC Movie Talk so you guys can answer your questions as well about what it takes to produce this crazy, crazy show that you guys get to watch every day. So first up, we have technical director Stephen Fox. And audio engineer Austin Farmer. COO of the stream, Miss Lorna Paul. And your CEO for the Stream.tv studios, Susan Wren.
So again, we're going to be talking a few questions with them, get them warmed up a little bit because they're not really used to being on this side of the camera.
That's right.
Look at their pretty faces. They've all got very important roles and we're very eager to discuss what they do with you now. Audience, if you've got a question, you know what to do. Stand up in an orderly fashion. And if you've got your Twitter questions, use that hashtag AMC 100 million.
All right, I know people are dying to know what goes on behind the scenes. So guys, please tell us, while AMC Movie Talk is in the studio shooting, what are you guys doing getting ready for the show and while we are in here?
We'll start from left to right.
Yeah, Steven, take it away.
Okay, so the day first starts with, as you heard before, we get the show notes. I load graphics, and usually, there's new trailers that come out that day, and everything changes. Then while the show's going, we are doing it to YouTube, as all of you guys see. We're just connecting, waiting on YouTube, and then we start the show. Start off with whoever's hosting. I mean, I don't know anything else. What do you guys think?
What amazes me is every morning when I wake up, and I wake up pretty early because I don't sleep a lot, there's no show. And John Campia and his team create this show in a period of a couple of hours. They get up, they figure out what's hot, what's new. They're the most knowledgeable, passionate people. And we roll in here and we have an entire show. We have interesting questions. We have great assets. We have stimulating conversation. And it didn't exist when we woke up. So it's quite a machine of wizards. And we have our wizards here that really help pull it together. But I must say that the AMC wizards that entertain you they amaze me every day. And I look forward to seeing them with great joy.
I ditto that. And I actually have the pleasure of watching the YouTube live stream with the rest of you, making sure that everything technically is going well and checking on that.
So I have the easy job. I just come in and I throw mics at people. The girls hate me because I always make them take off their bracelets and necklaces and jingly things that hit the mic. It's basically it. I just walk in, I see what they're wearing, put a mic on them, make it happen. That's all I do. So you podcast guys, you're welcome.
Right, I'm waiting for the red light. Hey, yeah, okay. Austin's right. He always makes me take off my janglies every single week. But we have a couple more questions for these guys since there's so much work that goes on behind the scenes. Mon, take it away.
I actually wanted to talk about how we consume media these days. And a lot of the time, these shows that are on YouTube, they're the ones that people turn to for immediate consumption of their favorite thing. In this instance, movies. Susan, I kind of wanted to direct this at you since you are the CEO of Stream.tv. Why do you think that consuming media this way is important, and especially in a live way as well?
As you said, I am old media, so I spent most of my life at Paramount as Senior Vice President of Media. So I come from traditional media and advertising. And the communication process these days, the speed that it takes place with, the live nature of being able to connect. When you see that chat go and everybody's talking to each other, it's not even like they're talking to us necessarily. They're talking to the other people that are watching. It is an energy that I think is fabulous for the industry. I think it connects the fans to the content that we create. And I think it's spontaneous and takes place at a speed that I certainly was never used to, which was a much more methodical, calculated kind of way to do things. I joke a lot with a former colleague of mine who's now head of the Academy about selfies. I mean, I grew up in a world where there were 24 pictures in a key set. And if you put up a picture that wasn't in that 24 pictures, you were in a lot of trouble. You had to answer for that. How would you manage that in this world of everybody participating in media? Well, it's fascinating. And these guys roll in every day. They are so knowledgeable about this that they can surf this. Because it's hard to do this. You have to be very authentic, you have to be very knowledgeable, and you have to have passion. And that's what this AMC team brings every day.
That's wonderful. From AMC Movie Talk, we thank you so much for all the hard work that goes into producing this show. Now we're joined by Matt from our live studio. Matt, wave at everybody at home.
Hello.
Hey, what's up with it? Okay, Matt, ask your question, please.
Hi. First of all, I just wanted to congratulate you on 100 million views. That's amazing. I just wanted to know, in your opinion, what do you think is the future of online content? Is it going to be more live streams? Is it connectivity? People are watching longer content on YouTube than they ever have before. In your opinion, where is it going?
I think that it's going in an exciting direction where there's going to be a lot of different opportunities, short form, long form. It's going to inform each other. I don't think anything's going away. In my experience, the 8-track, I believe, is the only thing that's disappeared. So I think this is all going to figure out how all these screens, first screen, second screen, third screen, fourth screen, fifth screen, how do they all support each other? How do they all connect to the viewer and give them an opportunity? I don't think anything is going away, and I don't think that there's going to be any one thing that is alone on the stage. I think short form is going to inform long form. We had Rob Zombie in here, and he said something very interesting. He held up his iPhone, and he said, just because I can watch Lawrence of Arabia on this doesn't make it a good idea. So there are different rhythms that we have to figure out. I'm passionate about live because I think that it brings a whole other energy. I think you bring your A game when you're live. And so I find that very, very exciting. But this is an advertising-based medium, and as I'm sure you all know, advertisers are very nervous about live. We still live with, the wardrobe malfunction, the history of that. So I think that we've got some way to go to figure out how short form informs long form, how communication and marketing all merge with content and branding. The Wild West, the digital Wild West is a new place, but it sure is exciting. I mean, I love it every day, guys. What about you?
Yeah, perfect. All right, we're joined from another member of our audience. Arton, ask your question.
Okay, so in a worst case scenario, when you guys are like going live and a big trailer just comes out like as you guys are doing, how do you guys handle that?
While we're live?
Well, just about.
Right. Like when we're already like sitting down, or we've already gotten the show notes for the day, and John's like, "Oh my gosh, this was just announced." What happens behind the scenes?
We move quickly, especially Steven. Steven just takes it, he ingests it, he moves, and he reorganizes everything.
Yeah, it's usually being downloaded very quickly, and everybody's running into the studio, gathering around the AMC desk, watching the trailer. It gets added in, and they go.
That's why we call them wizards.
I just stay away from all that. It's not my problem.
Let's give it up one more time for those in charge of putting together AMC Movie Talk.
Unfortunately, we're a bit short on time there, but guys, there's a great technical question that I did see online on Twitter, which I think that you guys would love because it's talking about all the equipment
and toys
and what's cool about that. So jump online, and we're going to continue this discussion on there as well. Use that hashtag AMC 100 million.
Yeah, we've trained our studio audience well, as you can tell.
The power.
Yes.
But this is about what you guys want, and we put it out there. What were some of the clips that really resonated with you? Apparently, a very memorable moment in the show was all about whether Christian Bale was coming back as Batman.
Oh, hey, look, we're still on.
Batman universe. No, it doesn't. My brothers and sisters of movie fandom, listen to me. Batman's done. Christopher Nolan's Batman is done. It's finished. Christian Bale's not coming back. There is Robin, whatever. Joseph Gordon-Levitt is not going to be Batman. It's not going to be a continuation of the story. It's finished. It's done. We've said it 1,000 times. Christopher Nolan has said it 1,000 times. What more do you need? Do you need Christopher Nolan to sneak into your house in the middle of the night, creep into your bedroom, lovingly pull down the sheets, give you a nice little tray of candles and scented aromas, and say, look, listen, it's okay, but the movie's done? Is that what you need to finally believe it? It's over. Amy Rose, your thoughts?
And you guys say it's not exciting. Oh, it's a lot of fun. Well, we are moving on to our final group of interviews. Yes, this is the one you have been waiting for because these guys know the show better than absolutely anyone else. They have been there pretty much from day one, if not a few days after.
Yes.
So can we kindly call to the stage? We have creator of AMC Movie News. Yes, the guy, the brains behind it all. His name is Justin Gardner.
Hey! Woo-hoo! Also here, you know him, you love him, it's writer-director John Schnepp.
He is the AMC Movie News production manager. Give it up for Dennis Zen.
All right, this one's my boss, so give an extra cheer. It's your AMC Senior Editor-in-Chief, John Campia.
And in a very non-traditional tradition, we have ladies last here, but she is a pivotal part of the team. She is the senior editor of AMC. It is Amy Rose Eisenbach. Looking very lovely in red.
Wow. We love you too.
Just on a side note, Amy Rose, you look absolutely fetching in red. What can I say?
Thank you.
Aw, see? Now we have our audience members lining up, ready to go. But first, I thought I would warm you up with a question, just to see how you're going with it all. John, I know you're very, very comfortable up there. How's your night been going, first and foremost?
Good night so far.
Now, I want to know from you guys, this is obviously your baby. This is your passion. I want to know in a sentence, John, I heard you talk about it before, and I really want to get everyone else to see that passion that you hold. What does AMC Movie News mean to you?
Oh, wow. Okay, so you have to go back to how I got started with AMC Movie News. I've been doing film blogging and everything for like 10 years. And about almost 6 years ago, I was in Canada with Ann Campia, who's sitting over here somewhere. Oh, there she is. Hey, baby. And we were in Canada, and I got this phone call from this dude.
From this weird guy.
From this weird dude over here, saying, "Hey, my name's Justin. We at AMC, we want to start something new. You're the guy to do it for us. Do you want to come work with AMC?" And I was like, "Sure." Now that started something that we have worked at for years. In the first number of years, it was just editorial. No editorial. I mean, it was just news. It was like AMC was still so nervous about letting anybody actually say what an opinion was, which is understandable. It's a really old corporation. They're trying something new. So we didn't even comment on stuff. And then as the years went on, I still remember this was 2 Comic-Cons ago. Justin and I were in a hotel room at Comic-Con, and we finally just said, it's time. It's time. We're going to start doing shows, and we're going to give opinion, and we're going to do all this kind of stuff. And to understand why this is important to me, most of you guys know I'm Canadian.
Everyone knows.
Everybody knows I'm Canadian. And my plan was to come to the States for about a year and then just hang out here for a bit and then go home. And kind of disrupted those plans a little bit. Meeting the love of my life kind of made me want to stay here. But also, I gave up to stay and do AMC. I miss my sister's wedding. I miss the birth of my niece. I basically gave up my family, who miss me terribly. All the life I knew, the friends I had, because I really believed in the notion not just of movie talk, but of what the movies mean to us, literally as a species. As long as you go back into our history, we are a species of storytellers. Whether it's carvings on the wall or stories by the campfire, we love stories, and that's how we communicate our heritage, our culture, our ideals, our dreams, our goals, everything about them, and it's captured in movies. And as a human race, it is the one thing that we all share in common. Saddam Hussein loved Hollywood movies. He loved The Godfather. And there's something interesting about that when you can sit down at a table in a group of people. If you want to be like Saddam Hussein, as a group of people, you can sit down with anybody that you have nothing in common with in the world, but you can talk about movies. And there's something about that I find incredibly powerful. And Schnepp's already drunk.
Come on.
And that's why, to me, getting to participate in engaging with film fans together with me, and I have the honor of doing it with you guys, with the most incredible team in the online world, I was going to swear. That's fucking awesome. Woo! All right?
Yeah. This is now PG-13.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. That's going to play so well. I have to go home, But look, follow up on that, and I will not curse. So, I mean, that's the thing. We all have this amazing passion for film. Otherwise, we wouldn't be doing the job that we do. Otherwise, you guys wouldn't be here. Otherwise, John wouldn't have started the movie blog, one of the first movie blogs. And that's what I saw. I saw that passion. I saw this insatiable curiosity for the movies that are coming out and the stories behind them. And you're right. Early on we didn't do a lot of the discussion, but there was still a little bit. Oscars would come out. We would talk about that. We would still do interviews. Kind of get some in depth. But when we were talking at Comic-Con, and we were thinking about it, it's like, okay, well, we can clearly see that this is the route to go, and everybody talks about movies, and we can talk about it in a respectful manner. It's like it's what we wanted to be is not the place where people rant all the time. We wanted to give you the information. We wanted to give you the inside scoop. And then we wanted to let you decide for yourself. So I think, you know, if you would have asked either one of us 2 years ago if we would be here, 100 million views. No, not at all. And it started out as I don't know if a lot of you know this, but it started out as a weekly show. And then about a year, and well, it's been almost 2 years ago.
For your consideration?
Yeah, for your consideration, right. And about 2 years ago, we decided, you know, it's like we can do this, or a year and a half ago, we decided that, you know, we can do this on a daily basis. And after that, it really took off. Yeah. It really took off because we could really do that.
Conversation, John. I remember you going, "This is crazy, but how do you feel about doing it a daily show?" Like, I don't know if people are gonna watch it. And here we are celebrating 100 million views. So it's just crazy. Yeah, when I started with This Man to My Right, we were at 5,000 subscribers. And again, that infectious passion is what hooked me. I was at IGN at the time. I've worked at studios, and I knew without a doubt that I was supposed to work here and with him. And so it's been a crazy ride. Dennis, the three of us, and watching this team grow, it's just so beautiful and wonderful. And I'm really grateful to be a part of this team.
Well, remember, we were doing For Your Consideration out of my living room, like even before I started at AMC.
AMC, yeah.
Like it was just a few of us talking. It was only a weekly show, but
a lot of you don't know, Dennis and I, we were talking about this pre-show too. Dennis and I have actually been working together for 7 years. I mean, when I was still doing the movie blog, for those of you who might remember that, I came to LA and I started shooting, and Dennis was a vice president of the company that we were doing the live broadcast out of, and that's where we first met, and we started working together. And then once we got out of that terrible situation, then we decided we want to keep doing stuff together, and we started For Your Consideration before we were even at AMC doing it out of your living room.
Yeah.
You, me, Johnny, and Roth Cornett.
Right, Roth.
And I think the four of us were kind of the basis,
and
right?
some rotating people.
Yeah, some friends. Yeah,
Really nice living room, buddy.
Yeah, it was a great living room. And then this movie came along that, I mean, I've been reading comic books my whole life, but even as a big comic book reader, I wasn't really clued in very well for Guardians of the Galaxy. And they just announced Guardians of the Galaxy, and I didn't want to get on camera and not be informative. So I started asking around. I said, who do we know that knows something about Guardians of the Galaxy? And a mutual friend of ours named Benjamin Jackendoff came to me and said, I know a guy who knows everything about Guardians of the Galaxy. You should meet him. And as fate would have it, that's when John Schnepp and I met. And
yeah, so like there was this thing called Comic Book Sunday, and I was hanging out with a bunch of nerds just like talking about comics and stuff. He's like, yeah, sweaty nerds. And as I'm sweating right now. And he was like, hey, you know, I just been in Morgan Spurlock's movie, and he's like, you're good at talking, and you want to talk about this movie, and like, I get kind of crazy when people don't know their comic history. It gets me a little pissed off. Just like movie knowledge, it's really important to know your history. So, I was like, hey, you know, I'll come on the show and like spread some of that love. So came on the show and had a blast. Literally, it was like I love talking about films. And a lot of the people that I would hang out and talk with didn't have the same kind of knowledge that these people had. So it was really fun. And John was like, hey, so much fun. Anytime you want to come back, just let me know. I was like, whenever you want me. So it was like maybe it was 2 weeks later. You're like, hey, you want to come in? And, you know, the job I have, like at the time I was directing a show called Metalocalypse. And that's right. What's going on? And just starting to do some other stuff. So I was like, you know, you have a little bit of free time. You're flexible. So I was like, you know what? Yeah, I mean, I could come in like Mondays and Wednesdays. And that's when it wasn't daily yet. I remember it was like 15,000 viewers. It was like it was pretty early. I think it was like 8th For Your Consideration.
It wasn't weekly either.
It wasn't weekly. So started doing the show. And then, you know, about 6 months later, they're like, yo, dudes, you know, like you want to be on the show regularly? I was like, yeah. So here we are.
And that's how a bromance is born.
Love the fact that you guys are so passionate, and I think that's a big chunk of why this is so successful. So, you know, maybe it did deserve the F-bomb that it got. That's the passion speaking.
Maybe.
I've got Richard here who's hidden from the audience. Let us know your question.
Well, first, I just want to say congratulations, and I love watching you guys' show. So, my question is, have you guys ever just completely bombed a celebrity interview?
Oh, wow.
Tommy Lee Jones.
Look, I will start this one, and then I will let her finish it. I sent Amy Rose to go and talk to Tommy Lee Jones. Tommy Lee Jones, if you're watching, we love you. But he is notoriously a terrible interview, just notoriously bad. And I warned Amy Rowe, I'm like, just, hey, look, don't, if it doesn't go well, it's not you, just go get you best you can. She comes back, and she's got the cards, she's got the digital cards. She goes, I said, so how'd it go with Tommy Lee Jones? And she goes, you just gotta, I can't even tell you. We put it on. Amy Rose, I can't remember what the questions were, but she asked this brilliantly insightful question, right? The camera goes, Tommy Lee Jones. Yes. So then Amy Rose follows up with an equally incredibly intelligent question, like really opening the door for Tommy Lee Jones to share some of this incredible film experience and knowledge with this audience that make him rich and famous. No. And by the end of it, Dennis and I were looking at it and we're like, we have an interview with Tommy Lee Jones and we cannot air this. I mean, it's ridiculous. Like, you were sitting there with him. Like, what did that feel like?
If you get a crooked smile out of him, that is the biggest win of your life. Just a crooked smile. You're never going to see teeth. You just have to accept that. But yeah, a recent title just came up for AMCI as well, The Homesman.
Again? You
And no,
again.
Alicia took that one.
Alicia did, okay.
And she's like, oh, I hope they're paired because it was with Hilary Swank. We weren't that lucky. Gruff McGruff over there.
All right, we're going to turn it over to Twitter right now. Remember, you guys can use the hashtag AMC100million to get your questions.
You guys
See,
are
I
awesome.
told you we had them trained very well. All right, this question comes from C-Not480 asking, what were you all doing before talking about movies?
Oh. Well, Justin, I actually be curious to ask you that question.
You don't know?
You've been at AMC longer than me.
Oh well, I was
hired me.
I was a circus performer. The high wire. It was ended badly. No, actually, I was. I started at a ad agency. I was a writer. Then I went over to a startup, search engine startup, and then I went to AMC. I loved movies. I had the agency experience. I had the startup experience. And I just started working for AMC in their creative services, and this social media thing was just there. And I was doing that for the startup. I saw YouTube start. I saw them get sold. I saw all of this energy and this passion with all this new media happening. And pretty quickly after that, I said, we need to be doing this. And, in AMC, it's like we need to get Facebook, we need to get Twitter, we need to get YouTube. I formed strategies for that. And then soon after that is when I contacted you. Because it all sort of started at the same time. So that's what I was doing. And I've been talking about movies. I haven't been talking about it on camera. But that's that passion and that background is what led me to call you.
What about you?
I've been doing video production and post-production for a while. I went to film school for it, and that's what I've been doing. That's how I met you. I never really had any intention to be on camera to talk about movies, really. I mean, I had my own channel and I was doing that, but like for you told me like, hey, why don't you hop on? And if people remember, they watched the old ones. I actually was like operating the switching
while doing the show.
It's a lot to like think about what you're gonna say while you're actually doing the show. So yeah, that's how I got started.
That's also how you earned the name Oz.
Yeah. Like a lot of you guys don't know, but out of everybody who's on the AMC Movie News crew, Dennis is the one guy that I said, like, we always had processes of people applying and then interviewing, going through a process and then hiring them and stuff like that. Dennis is the one guy that I remember talking to Justin. I said, okay, if we're going to do this, we need Dennis Zen. You may not know who he is, but we need him. Because not only is he completely brilliant when it comes to all the production stuff, he's actually one of the best film minds I know. He can talk about anything. He knows all the history of things. He's the total package. We need Dennis Zen. And then I would call my old friend Dennis Zen, and he would make me beg. And I basically, Dennis, okay, look, come, please come and work with me at AMC, please. And eventually he relented, and now he works with us at
And
AMC.
Dennis has Think Hero. Think Hero.
Yeah. So that's Think Hero, yeah. What about you?
Mine started very early. When I was very young, I used to have a Blockbuster type system in my house where my friends could borrow films, but they would have to come back and give me a recap and tell me what they thought about it. So that started really early. I was like very young. And then went off to college, and music journalism is actually my background. I was the editor of the music and art desk at my college. And it's just been such an interesting ride to get to here. Then I started working for Warner Music Group, and they weren't ready for me for like 2 weeks. So I started working for the film division for a temp for 2 weeks. And I hit it off with the VP there, and he's like, "You're not leaving. I'm keeping you." And I was like, "Okay." And it's been an amazing ride. And then I started guesting for you. We met at a junket, of course. And IGN, oh yeah.
Was it John Carter?
In
No, we
Arizona.
met again in Arizona,
Yeah.
but it was somewhere else.
But yeah, so I started working for IGN, and I was doing a lot of music and marketing and different stuff for them, and I never intended on being on camera either. And then this little film called The Fighter comes along with Christian Bale, and I have Stax and the other people that work over there, which you guys probably know, and they're like, "So, we can't make this. Do you want to take the interview with Christian Bale?" I was like, "Let's do it. Let's roll the dice." And I remember like writing that day, and I was just like, this adrenaline, like this is it. This is what I'm supposed to be doing, because having an honest dialogue with people I admire so much and getting them to understand my passion for films that I grew up with. I mean, is our job, could it get better? I don't think so. So it's been a ride, but I never intended on being a camera either. So it's crazy to see how that all comes up.
What about you, Schnapp?
Well, I started out, I've always been into graphic novels and comic books, and I ended up going to the Art Institute of Chicago, which is fine art. Strangely, I was into fine art. I did a lot of weird theater, spun out of that. A bunch of my friends did music videos, so I started acting in their videos, and then learned just how to edit and do animation almost by default by like just hanging out with a bunch of weirdos and getting drunk and having fun. And this was all in Chicago, and so I just started actually making money. I was like, holy crap, you can make a lot of money doing this stuff. And I get to hang out with other cool people, and we do a lot of drugs, and it was awesome. So literally, I then ended up moving out here to Los Angeles, and I got into the television biz, and I directed Upright Citizens Brigade and a whole bunch of other, then slowly got into doing cartoons from live action, and did like Venture Brothers and Black Panther for Marvel, so a bunch of different cartoon shows. And then Comic-Con came along, and I ran into Morgan Spurlock, and I was hammered, and my girlfriend was like, "You need to talk to him." And I was like, "How come Danny DeVito? What's going on?" So I was really cranky about the way San Diego Comic-Con is like turned into not about comics and more about like television shows about lawyers. So I had some stuff to say, and Spurlock was like, "You got to get in my movie." And I was like, so the next day I realized that I don't want to blacklist myself, so I didn't say all that stuff. But anyway, started figuring out, hey, it's kind of fun to talk in front of the camera, talk about stuff, and help spread the knowledge of films and comic books. And it just became a thing. And so when I came on the show, I was like, yo, this is a lot of fun. And right now I'm doing The Death of Superman Lives, What Happened. It's a documentary. And it's just like, I've always been kind of an experimental guy, so I was like, I've never made a documentary. I got kind of bored doing animation because you're just in a tiny room, and then you move to another tiny room and like, let me see these shots, and then move to another tiny room and like, the composite looks good. Then move to another tiny room, let's check that edit. So I was like, I want to be outside. I need to be outside. So let's interview some people. So I came up with this idea to do this thing, and I didn't know if anybody was going to do it. Did it on Kickstarter, raise some money. And I was already on AMC when this happened, and I was like, hey, I'm going to try to do this weird documentary. I remember telling these guys about it. They're like, I'm interested in it. So it was like, I'm still working on it. It takes a lot longer than I thought it would, believe me. Just trying to get people like, hey, you want to talk about a failed project from 15 years ago? Figure it out. A lot of people are like, no, get away from me. Door slam. But so it's taken a while. I keep dropping stuff. But anyway, I love being on AMC Movie Talk. I look forward to it. Like Miri said, it really is a fun thing to get the notes in the morning. But like, what trailer dropped? Have to watch that. Then we get on. We're like, I can't believe it. And just recently, just all the madness that's been going on with a lot of these horrible Sony hacks. It's just so much fun to just like come in every day and be like, what's happening with Spider-Man now? What mad, insane stuff has been released on the internet?
He's here.
Oh, he's here. Right? So anyway, yeah, that's what I'm doing now. So,
all right, what's up?
Guys, thank you so much for sharing those stories. We are really running out of time, but we've got so many great questions from the audience up here. So if we can kind of get through these with a lot of
we'll get some rapid fire stuff going here.
Not quantity, but that'd be great. We've got James with a pretty cool question here for you guys.
I wanted to know, like, what was your favorite performance so far this year? Like, mine would be Jake Gyllenhaal from Nightcrawler.
Oh, man.
I want him to win, like, just get that Oscar nomination.
Yeah.
I want him. What do you guys think? Like,
we had the whole crew. We had a big lunch today, and this came up. And one of the things I said was the guy not getting enough credit right now is Jake Gyllenhaal from Nightcrawler. He's so good in that, but I just can't say anybody but Michael Keaton from Birdman. For me, I mean, it was I mean, look, any other year, Gyllenhaal should win, but he just happens to be running into a force of nature with Michael Keaton and Birdman this year that I think he should, and I think he will win. What do you guys?
I don't think that the roles are even close to comparisons, though, because Jake Gyllenhaal, like, he was a self-help book. He was a walking just intensity, the creepiness of his eyes, the physical transformation that he took, and there's no fat on that film. It was so brilliant and really makes you look at news coverage so differently. I just thought he attacked an enemy. I mean, this man is so talented. Please recognize him. Michael Keaton, he's a legacy actor. That role was great, but that was him, you know? Like, that is his life. So to me, it's not even close what was the more challenging role, but I do think that the Academy likes to honor those kind of picks, and Birdman was phenomenal. But for transformation, Gyllenhaal is on a whole other level. Eddie Redmayne was amazing in Theory of Everything.
Benedict Cumberbatch in Imitation Game.
It's been a damn good year.
I would go with Keaton. Yeah, it's like him a little bit, but he really was. I mean, those unending close-ups where you're really acting and you're in the moment. And that film Birdman is a fantastic film. If you haven't gotten a chance to see it, it really is like an art house film. So to me, just seeing that film, I felt so happy that not only is that expanding into a lot of theaters where everyone should go see it, but it's an incredible movie from the way it was directed to how it was written to all the actors in it. It's an ensemble piece. It's fantastic.
Yeah, mine would be Michael Keaton, Birdman. Birdman's my favorite movie of the year. And I think his performance, too, there's like a lot of different levels because of all the different relationships he has in that theater group. And then also just every time he comes on stage in the play, there's a different dimension to that as well.
Yeah.
Who do you give to, Jeff?
I love Keaton, but I agree that Gyllenhaal just delivers. I mean, he's now the trio of the killer bees: Bateman, Bickle, and Bloom. I mean, he is just amazing. So I really want him to win because I think he's just a talented actor. But I also think eventually, like the Academy and the voters are gonna think, well, his time's gonna come, and Keaton just delivers the performance of a lifetime. So I think he's gonna get that.
All right, we will go faster, I promise. Okay, what's next? What's next?
Yeah,
Yes.
right.
All right, I'm joined by TJ from our live studio audience. TJ, what you got?
First off, I love you guys, by the way.
Love
This
you
is
too.
for John, though. Not a lot of people know you've directed 2 films. I didn't know. So if you were to direct again, what would be your dream project?
Yeah, I directed 2 films. I did a documentary in 2007 called Prince of Peace, God of War. It's one that I'm actually very, very proud of. I did it with no money myself, just a single camera and a couple lights, and I took it on an airplane and went back and forth across the country. It's a religious theme movie looking at the dynamics of pacifism and just war theory, and I was very happy with it. Then I did a romantic comedy that I did mostly because I wanted to know what the experience was. I wanted to understand what filmmakers go through. So I decided to write and direct my own film. And it was great. I've got some wonderful people in the movie. It's great. And the movie sucks. But that being said, I am so proud of it because I did it, you know, and knowing that I'm not a filmmaker and I did it. If I could go back and do another one right now, and I was offered another movie, but that's another story for another time, I would absolutely want to do a superhero film. I just because, you know, I'm a comic book nerd.
Shocker.
Shocker. Yeah. Spoiler alert. I would want to do a comic book film, and I would probably do a film about Bishop. I would love to do my favorite comic book character. My favorite comic book character is Magneto, actually. He's been my favorite character for a long time, but I've been fascinated with the character of Bishop.
You're speaking my language, Sean.
Yeah, long before, you know, Professor Xavier's son, before Legion sent the back, it's getting started the whole Age of Apocalypse storyline. Way before that, I was fascinated with Bishop, so I would do a Bishop film.
I'm working on a script currently. I might as well tell my wonderful people here that we have. It is, I can describe it as a family drama gangster film. And I plan on directing it myself.
The film I'm currently writing after I finish the Superman film will be my first feature film, and it's a horror musical.
Sign me up.
Would pay to see all of that. That won't happen. Except I'm not good with horror, but for you, let them sing.
There'll be midgets. Chucky.
I have a poker face. Look, we might have to wrap this up depending on the question, but we are talking about your careers, the entire career right now. And with the question, we've got Ben from the audience.
Hey, Ben.
Hi, I just want to tell you guys are awesome, and I flew in from Washington to see you
Wow.
guys. Yeah. But
Thank you so much.
My question is, everyone in a career has ups and downs. This is obviously a huge up for you. What was your down? What was the down point?
Oh wow. There are a couple of downs that if I'm gonna be, I wear my heart on my sleeve. A couple. One would be not long after we started going daily. We didn't grow as fast. We're at 100 million in less than a couple of years, but we didn't grow as fast as I thought we would. And I remember, and I felt guilty because I'd spent years trying to talk AMC into letting us do this. And I felt really guilty, and I still remember very clear. Justin and I will talk about this once in a while. I remember I gave Justin a call, and because I felt so guilty that we weren't growing as fast as I thought we would, and I said, and I was like, dude, look, I'm willing to pull the plug on this because I felt like I wasn't living up to what I said I would deliver. And I remember Justin saying, "Are you kidding me?"
No, no, don't do that.
No. Let's not pull the plug.
We're not going to do that. No, I mean, oh.
You guys.
Dennis is drunk.
I haven't even drank yet.
Anything. And there we go. All right, we're back. No, I remember the moment because we were just getting 1,000, 2,000 views, but that was a lot more than what we had been getting with the other stuff, and I know it was a lot of work, but I knew that there was value, and I knew that we were growing. And one thing about John, that not a lot of people know is he's not too patient, and he wants to make sure that he gives his absolute best. And sometimes that takes a little longer to get viewership. It takes a little bit longer. And so, me being at a corporation and taking a little bit longer sometimes, I knew that this was something that we needed to do. We needed to continue to do. And once we hit daily, it needed one more idea. It needed one more idea, and we found it in the daily. And once it hit daily, we were at about 8,000, and then it just skyrocketed after that.
Thanks to you guys.
Yeah, yes. But I can honestly say, though, one of the reasons I really can't count on a lot of downs after that is because we have Dennis, Amy Rose, and I talk about this a lot. We are not afraid to fail. And that's the thing. I'm not afraid to fail at something and fail fast. And so we have tried things on AMC Movie News in the past couple of years. I mean, we sit here and we celebrate 100 million views, but there are things that we tried that didn't work. But all of us have kind of developed this thing about, okay, it didn't work. We could lose sleep over it, or we can just look at everything else that's working and try something new. And the reason we can do that, and I mean this wholeheartedly, is because you guys stick with us when we try new things and fail. And you make us unafraid to fail. And because you guys have hung in there with us, you send us emails and tweets of encouragement all the time. I'm kind of open when I get on Facebook or Twitter, and sometimes when I'm feeling down about something, I say, I screwed this up. Then suddenly there's 200 comments from you guys, encouraging us and things like that. You guys are why we do this show. That's not BS. That is the absolute truth. You guys you enable us to do it. You give us the ability to do it. You motivate us to do it. And just being a part of this community that you have created and allowed us to join makes doing our job every day worth doing. So seriously, thank you guys so much for everything that you do.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Give it up for those guys. Thank you so much for joining us on the panel, guys. Really insightful stuff. I learned things about you as well, and I hope you guys really gained something from this because it was a really great, intimate experience having you guys up here.
I want to do one more thing, and you didn't know I was going to do this, but Sinead, let me get you to come up here. Where's the rest of the crew? I want the rest of the crew. Get the rest of the AMC crew. I know they're in back drinking already, getting the party started early. Here comes Christian and.
I drink a couple of hearts.
Okay, in all honesty, I kind of answered this one question before. There are 3 reasons why we have any success. If you call anything that we've done successful, there are 3 reasons. One, and I mean all this wholeheartedly, we work with a company in AMC theaters that, number one, is one of the only companies in the world that had the balls and the testicular fortitude to do something like this that no other company was doing at the time. There's a lot of people trying to copy us now. But they stepped out. They were the first penguin to dive into the shark-infested waters and to trust us and to invest resources in us and to let a guy, look, I sometimes lack patience. I'm also very stubborn, and I'm whatever, and it's like my way or the highway and all that kind of crap. And
story.
it's AMC is the type of company that has the integrity to go, you guys do it, and we are going to stay out of your hair. And they have been nothing but supportive and encouraging. They've helped every bit of growth that we've ever done. And how many 100-year-old corporations can you say that about? And a lot of that is because of this man here, Justin Gardner. The second reason we have had any success, we've already gone over this, is absolutely because of you guys and what you've done. You allow, look, I'm a freaking nobody from Canada, and you guys are film fans with us, and you just start talking to us, and that's amazing. But the third reason, and I say this wholeheartedly, we have the best. I will have this discussion with anybody. I will go toe-to-toe with anybody on this. We have the best crew in the online space. Absolutely. All these people sitting around me right here, there's not one of them, when we landed them, that I didn't have a little party. I still remember when we hired Amy Rose, we went through the whole process, and we needed a right-hand person, and Justin and I were looking, all these people applied, and it was just clear. Amy Rose was the person for us. I remember when Schnepp agreed to come on. I remember so clearly, like when Amy Rose and Dennis and I realized we needed to grow more, and it's like, I think it was you, Amy Rose, who came to me, do you know Christian Harloff wants to come work with us? And I'm like, all right, let's meet with them. And then like, did you know that Miri Jedikin applied? I'm like, what? Did you know Alicia Malone applied for this? And Ashley Mova, do you know that she was with us before? Didn't quite work out, and we had to let her go. And we had to let her go because it wasn't working out yet, but she had this incredible personality. And when we parted ways the first time, we sat down and we talked about, okay, here's some things that you need to improve. And then fast forward a few months, we needed somebody to fill in, and she was willing to come and fill in. And because I didn't know she did this, when she went away, she worked on those things that I told her about needed to work on, and she came back, and like Amy Rose, Dennis, and I was like, who is
Best
this
host
girl?
ever.
Like, she's incredible. And she started blowing away. She's with us. We were so lucky to find Sinead. You guys have not met our production team that work with Dennis. Jonathan Voitko does a lot of production behind the scenes. Any of you guys who are on the online chat, you know Ray Ora. Ray Ora is in there all the time, who does so much of our I've talked about Dennis and Justin, everybody, Mark.
Yeah, Mark Ellis. Mark Ellis.
We brought Mark on.
There's a very special drink. It's called Testicular Fortitude. It's available. It's on the roof. It comes in shot form.
I get to sit every day surrounded by the most talented people in the world that I have to pinch myself that I get to work with them, and the most incredible audience in the world that I get to talk to you. It's awesome. This is for you. Thank you guys.
Here's the
so
phase
much.
3.
Thank you so much.
Phase 3!
Well, I think we can all agree that John Campia's passion has smacked us completely across the face, and we are very, very grateful for it. Thank you so much, guys, for doing what you do. And guys at home, yes, so many tweets coming in thick and fast. We couldn't even get to the tip of the iceberg on those. You did use that hashtag AMC 100 million. You guys have been incredible, can I just say, and I can't wait to continue this. You guys at home, we said it time and time again, 100 million could not happen without you. So we are going to call it a night, but thank you so much for joining us tonight. We will see you next time.
And
I'm Maud Garrett.
for hosting.
Kidding, let's drink.
Now let's go have a party.
Time to drink.
Hey everyone, if you liked this video, click that thumbs up button and make sure to subscribe to our AMC Movie News YouTube channel. It's free and helps you stay up to date with all the latest movie news, as well as our daily AMC Movie Talk show. Also, make sure that you follow us on Facebook and Twitter to stay up to date with all of our special promotions, contests, and prize giveaways.